I think there are some interesting parallels and also lack of parallels with other forms of artistic, if you want to call it that, criticism, such as theater criticism, music criticism, or movie criticism. And some of the parallels have to do with the critic acting as an advisor in purchasing some product. So if I'm about to perhaps buy a DVD and I look at the review that's on the back and it says 2 thumbs up, and I say, well, probably I will enjoy this. These critics have given it their endorsement. Other times it'll say the best comedy I've seen all year. And then I look at, well, who said that? And it's WGHXI Radio's reviewer. And I think, I wonder if the only reviewer they could find that would praise this movie is a radio reviewer. Maybe it's not so good. And I'm trying to decide whether I should spend my money on this. Now, it's not an awful lot of money, but it is some money, and it's also my time. I may look up on the internet, movie review quest engine, if you know that, and see what Roger Ebert said about a certain movie. Should I get it? Or should I go out and see this movie, which is in the theaters, spend the evening and spend the money on it? And the critic provides some information that I may be able to use to decide whether it's something that I want. And some of it is strictly descriptive, as John says. If the critic says, the level of graphic violence in this movie is just wonderful, it's great, it's over the top. And I said, well, thank you very much. I'm glad you told me that, because I don't want to see that, no matter how well it's done. By the way, I'm resisting seeing the Slumdog Millionaire because of this horrible torture scene that I've been told about. So I'll get it on DVD and skip over it. I don't like to see it. But that's where the critic provides information that you can use or not. Now, as to the matter of quality, is it good or is it not? I may still agree or disagree with the critic. Roger Ebert, I mentioned, I agree with many of his criticisms of specific movies, and other times I have disagreed with him. I may see the same movie and say, well, I can see what he's after, but no, that's not my response. And I think that's perfectly fine, and it's also fine when it comes to audio equipment. If we pointed out to you certain things about a product, this is what it does, this is what I liked about it, this is what I wasn't sure if I was that keen on, and then you do the same thing if you listen to it yourself and say, well, yeah, I kind of see what it means, but what he's identified as a mid-bass thickness, it really doesn't bother me. I like music to have a little bit more flesh on the bones, and that's fine. So you're integrating what the critic has said with your own perceptions. I think what, as non-experts, if you want to consider yourself as a non-expert, are afraid of is making a mistake. My wife sometimes says, when it comes to decorating, she's afraid of making a mistake. She has her own ideas, but wants to consult with an interior designer because she doesn't want to spend a lot of money on some expensive drapes or some other interior design feature that afterwards she finds that she can't live with because it's trendy, but it's not what she likes. So an interior designer is kind of like a critic. It selects things for you and tries to find out what it is that you like. And short of being a consultant to you on an individual basis, one way of reading our reviews is to say, well, here's information about the product that I need to think about, I want to think about, and then make up my own mind, and combine this definitely with listening myself, and to see whether my own impressions, sonic impressions, correspond to those of this reviewer, or maybe not this reviewer, but another reviewer.
Just one more quick point. Hello. One more quick point is that I hope that the reviews are existing as something more than just consumer advice. They should be entertaining. It should be fun to read. You know, hopefully this is one of those things where we can't sate our hunger for audio by buying something new every month. So, you know, we have magazines, we read about it, and hopefully it'll just be fun, pleasant to read. And reading it may sharpen your own point of view, and that's cool. But as long as it's a good time and a good read, I'm happy.
Do we have another question? You stood at the front.
Yes. I was wondering, I know in the past that people who have produced audience essentially tries to ensure it's going to music when to listen to it. And I just wondered, since Stereophile produced
There is, the question is are there any recordings available which would help listeners become better listeners? There's a series that John Marks wrote about in his column a couple of years back, produced by somebody called David Moulton. And there's a series of 3 CDs. One particularly concentrates on, the effect of various kinds of colorations, various kind of resonances. If you search on the Stereophile website for the word Moulton, M-O-U-L-O-T-N plus CD, then the search engine should retrieve that column John Marks is. I thought for a long time with the next Stereophile test CD should have some specific examples of the kind of thing you're talking about, but I haven't got any firm plans yet to put that into production. We published an article, 17 or 18 years ago by Jack English, a series of articles called The Sonic Bridge, and I haven't yet put that up on our website because I'm thinking that would be really nice when I do the web reprint. I do the reprint articles for the magazine on the website. I do the HTML coding. But I could put in an MP3 file of a specific effect when he talks about it. So he says, many people prefer the sound of a loudspeaker with a sort of depression through the presence region. I could then do a little snippet of just something without that and then with it, just to show that kind of effect. But again, it's not something I've got around to doing yet.